Hello dear student, welcome back. So in this video we are just going to learn about memory allocation strategies, whether it is dynamic or it might be a variable type. So we are just going to learn about memory allocation methods. So in the previous videos we got to know that what are the two major tasks of memory management. So one was the memory allocation, the second task was the address translation. So wherein which the memory allocation, so the process once it brought from the secondary memory to the main memory, so how the physical addresses can be allocated for the process was discussed under memory allocation. So there are two ways in which we could just allocate the memory for the processes. The one is that contiguous way, other is that non-contiguous, in which contiguous, so we are just going to allot the continuous addresses to the process, whereas in the non-contiguous we are just going to allocate the memory which is not in continuous order. So they are the two methods under the memory allocation. So under contiguous memory allocation, so we had two methods. One was fixed size partition and other was variable size partition. So under fixed size partition, we were having a memory that got divided into n number of partition of different size, and whenever the process arrives which is requesting for either the same size or the lesser size of the chunk, so that was successful to just allocate that chunk. So but the thing is that there was a internal fragmentation problem, so wherein which the fixed partition could suffer more oftenly. We had a variable sized partition, so in which we need to just get to know the snapshot in which the freely available memory has to be just pointed out, and this free available space or the whole can be just dedicated or can be just given for the process as they just arrives. So that was the basic concept of fixed and variable sized partition. So if you still have the doubt, you can just go back to the previous video and can just check out what are they. So now let us just go for the memory allocation strategies. So the memory allocation strategies generally concerns about how to satisfy a request of size n from the list of free holes. So we have many number of holes or many number of free spaces or the chunks that are available from that available memory space. So how can we just satisfy the request for allocating so many processes? We need to just check out. So basically there are three algorithms that are used to select free holes from the set of available holes. They are first fit algorithm, the next best fit, and the third is worst fit algorithm. So these three are the memory allocation algorithms. So what is first fit algorithm? So the first fit algorithm always tries which starts from the beginning address, search for the location which is more enough to allocate the process and fit the process in that block. Means, say suppose you have a memory block which is in chunk form or which is the whole or anything, you need to just check out which is the first available enough space to fit the process. The very first enough space will be chosen in order to fit the process. So that is nothing but the first come first available enough space. So always he has to search for the first available enough space in the available holes. The next thing is that best fit. So best fit is nothing but fit the process in the smallest possible memory block. So instead of just fitting the process in the first available memory space or memory block, we are always going to check for the smallest possible memory block out of available memory blocks or out of available space, so that less probability of reusing the leftover memory block will be less. So obviously when we fit the process in the smallest possible memory block, the remaining space that has left out after allocating that process in that block would be lesser size. So that's what it is meaning. So the third algorithm says that worst fit. So this always allocate the process to the first largest memory block from the available blocks, so that leftover memory can be used for any other process as its size may be big enough. So worst fit always tries to fit the process So which is always try to fit the process in the block which is large enough, which is the biggest among all the available. So that is the worst fit. So remember, the first fit always checks for the first available enough space. It's not looking for the smallest, first available enough space from the starting of the memory block. Best fit always tries to fit the process in the smallest possible memory block, whereas worst fit always chooses the memory block which is larger out of available. So these three are the memory allocation strategies. Now let us have examples on variable sized partition and fixed size partition, and how these three methods can be applied to best suit the processes. Let us check the first example. So here we have the example 1 under variable sized partition. So we know already what is a variable sized partition. So there will be a process as and when they arrives, we have to keep on allocating the memory continuously. Since they are under contiguous, so you need to allocate the memory continuously, otherwise it's not possible to accept the request for loading the process on the main memory. So assume there are 4 processes over here. P1 requesting for 300 kilobyte addresses, P2 is of size 25 kilobyte, and P3 is of size 125 KB, and P4 is of size 50 KB. So this is the memory snapshot at a time t. So this is the allocated marking. So this is the freely available memory block. So this is the again allocated. So 350 is available over here, 600 have been occupied. So this is the memory image taken at time t. Okay, so this is resultant of as many processes swap in and swap out. So after doing so many swap in and swap out, so this is the resultant of memory image or memory snapshot, so at time t. Okay, so assume so they have all occupied and there is a free available space which constitute the holes. I have a 150 KB of hole here, 350 KB of hole over here. So let us solve this problem now. So in order to check out who fits best, can any of the best fit algorithms is just going to allocate all these processes successfully or not, or how many memory kilobytes will be just wasted if they could not accommodate these processes. We'll see. So I'll just switch on to the Excel so that I could just solve it and show practically over here. So same problem. Now let us have the same problem which got represented on Excel sheet here. So under variable size partition, we have 4 processes which are of size 300 KB, 25 KB, 125 KB and 50 KB. So memory snapshot at a time t. So after several processes swap in swap out, we got created this, okay, with the holes and with the occupied space. So this snapshot taken at time t is taken at time t. So which shows that the 50 KB in the overall memory block have got occupied for some other process. I have a hole, that is the free memory available of 150 KB here. I have again the process with the size 300 kilobytes have been occupied, and I have a hole that is nothing but free space available with the size of 350 here, and I have a 600 KB of space that have been occupied over here. Now we need to just calculate the first fit, best fit, and we need to just show how the worst fit will allocate the processes for this on this memory snapshot or on this memory. So here the filled cell represents the occupied cell. So these are all occupied space. The white spaces will show they are available. So let us have the 3 algorithms. So how do they fit each of the processes on this memory? We will just see. So now just take out the same snapshot again here. So 50, 150 available, 300 occupied, 350 available, 600 occupied. Let us begin with the first fit. we know that first fit always tries to fit the process in the very first block, which is enough to fit that. So let us see the first process. The first process is of size 300. The first hole, that the first free space available is 150, which is not possible to fit 300 kb process. So go to the next hole. So next free block. So it is of size 350. So it is possible to occupy the P1. So let us just give the space for the process P1 here. So out of P350, we'll allocate P1. Okay, P1 have been allocated of size with the size 300 kb, and out of 350, the remaining, this got filled, this got allocated, this got allocated, the P1 got allocated. So out of 350, 50 is remaining. We have created the new hole, so of size 50, both, including both here. So you could just say that both. So we have remaining 50 over here. So now let us just go for the second process P2, which is of size 25. Now let us look into the first available hole which is possible to fit this. So obviously first available hole is 150. It is possible to fit 25. So you could just allocate the P2 over here. So P2 will be kept here. So this will be occupied with 25 space. 25 memory space is required to accommodate P2, and out of 150, 25 if you just give, so 125 free space will be generated. 125 is the free space got generated. So now I have a first one hole and the second hole of 50. Now let us see the P3, next process request. It is requesting for 125 kilobyte of memory. So we need to just check out the first possible place. So the first hole is of now 125. It is possible to fit P3. So now fit P3 in the first available space. So we need to just fit that. So there is no hole generating here because out of 125 we had complete space have been given for P3. So the next arriving process is P4. The next process request is P4 with the 50 kilobytes. So now we have a second hole with 50. So we need to just allocate. So P4 in the entire 50 block. I mean entire hole of size 50. So we got to fit all the processes successfully. So see, when you just look into the hole, the 150 hole is completely used and 350 hole is also completely used. There is no space that has been left out in these two blocks. So you could just say that internal fragmentation is 0 kilobyte. So there is no internal fragmentation. There is no internal memory that got wasted within that chunk or within that space or the hole. So did you able to fit all the processes successfully? Yes. So if it is so, we can also say that external fragmentation is 0 kb because every processes have got fitted, so that there is no external fragmentation also occurred. So if the processes could not able to accommodate it, so you should say that even though you have enough free space, I was not able to fit either P1, P2, P3, P4. You can just say that external fragmentation of that amount, the process size. So that is the external fragmentation. So let us just solve the same problem using best fit. So how bestly it fits the processes on the available space. Best fit always looks for the smallest possible hole for accommodating the processes. The first process is of 300 size. So the first hole is of 150 and the second hole is of 350 from the memory snapshot. So the first possible obviously is of 350. So what should I do? I have to allocate the process in 350. So out of 350, 300 will be just given for this. So I'm just going to give I'm just going to allocate P1 over here by allocating 300 addresses for this. Okay, 300 kilobyte space have been given for P1. So out of 350, so if I just allocate 300 over there, so remaining is 50. This is the second hole that have been created over here. So the next arriving process is P3 for the requesting of 125 kilobytes. So look at the first possible block. I have the first hole of 150, the second hole of 50 size, P2 with the 25. So now we need to just check out. So this is 150 and this is 50 out of these two holes. So 50 is the smallest possible hole to accommodate the P2. So we need to just allocate P2 in this hole. So if you allocate P2 by allocating 25 for this, so there is a 25 kilobytes of space, or the hole will be created here. So for that, so we need to just say P2 is having 25 and 25 is left out here. So this got occupied by P2. So now the third process is arriving with 125. So again look at the best possible hole. So this is of size 150. So this is of size 25. 25 is left out. So out of 350. So now the best possible is obviously this. So out of 150, if you allot P3 125, so 25 will be left out. So allot P3 here with 125 request, and remaining would be 25. The remaining free space available would be of 25 kilobyte. I have allotted P3 now. So it got successfully done. Now comes P4. So P4 requires 50 kilobytes of memory. So again look at the first hole is of size 25. The second hole is of size 25. Here 25 is left out. So the next hole is also of 25. So even though we have 25 plus 25 free available space, it is not possible to fit the P4 because he requires 50 kilobytes the continuous memory addresses. So since it is 25 here and 25 here, I could not fit the P4. Okay, P4 cannot be successfully accommodated over here. So what is the internal fragmentation? The internal fragmentation can be 50 the free space, 25 free space here and 25 free space here. So 25 plus 25, so 25 plus 25, so might be equal to 50 KB of memory that is getting wasted unless there is no processes which are arriving for the requesting for the memory blocks of lesser or equal to 25 kilobytes. Because say suppose in the next time, so there is a request from any other process who needs lesser or equal to 25 kilobytes of memory space. So these holes will be left out as it is, so which is getting wasted. So otherwise you could just make use of these holes to fit the process which is with the size of lesser or equal to 25 kilobytes. So now we need to just check out, so is there any external fragmentation? Of course there is a external fragmentation, because even though we have 25 plus 25 50 kilobytes of free memory, so it's not possible to fit P4 because he is asking for continuous addresses. So obviously the external fragmentation would be that process which could not be accommodated. What's the size of that process? So that is nothing but the external fragmentation size. So it could cause the external fragmentation for 50 kilobytes of space. So next thing is that the worst fit. So the worst fit so always tries to fit the largest hole for the process, so that obviously there will be a external fragmentation situation could occur. So now let us see the first process, 300. So out of 150 and 350, 350 is the largest hole. So he needs to accommodate P1 here by allocating 300 bytes for him. So P1 got accommodated. So the left out space out of 350 would be, so 50 here. So 50 is left out. There is a hole of 50 kilobytes. The next process comes with the request for 25 kilobytes. So I have a 150, I have a hole, the next hole of 50 kilobyte. So out of these two, 150 is the largest one. So it is just going to accommodate P2 in the 25. I mean in the P2, which is having a 25 kilobyte in the first hole. So accommodate P2 here with 25, and left out is 125. So P2 got accommodated with 25 and the remaining space is 125. Next comes P3. So I have the whole of 125 here, I have the whole of 50 over here. So the largest and possible is of course the first hole. So try to accommodate P3 here. So it tries to accommodate P3 over here. So the next comes P4. So look at the available holes. So obviously there is a one hole with the size 50, so which is possible to fit P4. So P4 can be accommodated here. So P4 can be accommodated. So the entire hole of 50 size will be given for P4. So do you have any internal fragmentation here? So since there is no space left out, so you could just say that it has no internal fragmentation. Do you have any external fragmentation? So were you not able to allocate any of the process even though you have a free space? It's not that case, because we could accommodate all the processes successfully. So even this gives 0 kilobytes, means the worst fit also works sometimes better under variable sized partition.